Children of the River, Chapter 19. Mrs. McKinnon appeared in the doorway of her husband's office. "Honey," she said to him, "you have got to get some rest." She glanced at her watch. "You're going to be exhausted tomorrow." Tomorrow. Dr. McKinnon looked startled. "So this is really going to happen?" He shrugged at Jonathan and Sundara. Been so busy bonding up, I guess the reality hasn't had a chance to sink in." The medical team was leaving in the morning. The doctors, nurses, and paramedics from different towns were to meet in Portland for breakfast near the airport. A minister would pray for them. The flight went first to Seattle, then Hong Kong, and finally Bangkok. Jonathan's father would be gone for 2 months. Once he left Bangkok for the camp, he would not even be able to phone home. Dr. McKinnon took off his reading glasses and rubbed the bridge of his nose. His desk was littered with empty coffee cups and Xerox copies of articles about tropical diseases. A stack of medical books threatened to slide onto the floor. "Actually, now that it's time," he said, "I can't wait to get going." He pushed back his chair and began putting the tapes of Khmer phrases they'd made in his satchel. Mrs. McKinnon smiled weakly. Sundara and Jonathan traded glances. Sundara couldn't blame her for worrying. She worried about Dr. McKinnon, too. "You must take care of yourself," she admonished him now. "If the camp in a jungle, watch out for the tiger." "Richard," Mrs. McKinnon turned pale. "She's kidding, isn't she?" He laughed shortly. "Tigers will be the least of our problems. With 40 or 50,000 people crammed in Seco, I'm sure tigers will smell us and stay away." "Right." She didn't look reassured. She gave Jonathan a crooked smile. "Going to be a strange Christmas around here, isn't it?" "We'll save it, Mom. We'll have it when he comes home." "When he comes home." The words hung in the air. Mrs. McKinnon opened her eyes and blinked hard. Dr. McKinnon caught this. "Now, Gwen." She waved him off, shaking her head, collecting herself. "I'm going to be fine." She nodded, then she stopped and took a deep breath. "Well," she stuck her hands on her hips, surveying the cluttered office, "at least I'll be glad to get this place cleaned out." Jonathan and his father looked at each other. No one said anything for a moment. Sundara took her jacket from the back of her chair. Their time was up. She had helped Dr. McKinnon all she could. She had no excuse to stay any longer tonight. She would have no excuse to come over ever again. She opened her book bag. "Dr. McKinnon, this is for you." She handed him a small wooden plaque that she'd lettered in Khmer script. "You will honor me if you hang this where you work at the camp. I am thinking some people might be fear of your white face, and you so big, so I make this to help them know you are a good man, one who see not only with his eyes." He cleared his throat. "Ah, thank you very much. You honor me." "What does it say?" Mrs. McKinnon asked. "I tried to translate what that man Albert Schweitzer say, the word over the hospital door. Here, at whatever hour you come, you will find light and help and human kindness." She hesitated. "Someday, Dr. McKinnon, I like very much to follow in your footprint." Dr. McKinnon placed his huge palms together, dipping his forehead in a Khmer bow of respect. "Ah," she breathed, beaming. "You learned good." When all their goodbyes were said, Jonathan walked Sundara out to her car. The mist drifted down through the porch light. "I feel like such a jerk," he said. "All my raving about them never making a commitment. I guess I felt safe shooting off my mouth. I never really thought he'd do it." She opened the car door. "You sorry you not showing more respect, or sorry he going?" "Both, I guess. I just feel so responsible. He wouldn't be doing this if I hadn't freaked out. He said that. Said I forced him to take a closer look at himself. I thought that's what I wanted. But now that he's actually going, well, I know somebody's got to, but..." He stopped, studied her face. "This must sound pretty selfish to you. Thousands of people over there, your relatives maybe, and I'm worried about one guy just because he happens to be my dad." "One person matter a lot," she said without looking at him. "When the one person's somebody you love." A long silence. "Your mother worry about him too." "Yeah." He leaned on the open car door. "You know, I always thought people who did this sort of thing just went off, all brave and full of conviction. It never occurred to me they might have mixed feelings. Now I see there's a lot more to it. It's not that my dad's so brave, see? Actually, he's scared, but he's going anyway. That's what gets me. He's scared, but he's psyched up, too. Your father's a special man. Don't I try to tell you this all the time?" Yeah, okay, call me a slow learner," Jonathan sighed. "I bet none of us will sleep tonight." Sundara had the car keys in her hand. There didn't seem to be much else to say. Well, he said, looks like this is it then. She nodded. I've gotten spoiled having you over here every night. He kicked a bit of gravel. Then, as if the wet pavement had given him a brilliant idea, his head snapped up. What if I told your folks I needed lessons in Khmur? They laughed, but only briefly. Oh, Sundara. He looked like he was in pain, like he wanted to hit something. Suddenly he reached out and took her in his arms. Surprise stiffened her for a moment, then she sank against him. She let out a long, trembling sigh. Nothing had ever felt so good. She smelled the rain on him, felt his heart pounding under the damp flannel of his shirt. And then he held her a little away. His hand slid up to her cheeks and into her hair, and he was pulling her mouth to his. A kiss, she was thinking, a real kiss. So this is... It was over too quickly. Oh, Donatin. He released her. I know. He backed away, walking in a crazed circle. You don't have to say it. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry, okay? I'm really sorry. He stopped, faced her, but I just couldn't help it. Sundara bit her lip, still tasting him, her gaze fixed on his chest. Going to have to last me a long time thinking about that. She raised her eyes. Maybe you could do it again?